Do not beat yourself up. The thing that I have seen a lot going around is there are two extremes of the sides. There's a side of people that feel like you should never, give yourself any slack, any discipline, and that you should accept any behavior of yours as it is. And then there's the other extremist side of, you should beat yourself up, you gotta get it perfect, you gotta da 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 da. Neither of those do I feel like is what's going to be best for you. And today I will specifically be talking about the extremist side of beating yourself up, because the reality of it is beating yourself up is not going to help you if you think it's going to help you or not. There is a fine line between being strict with yourself and beating yourself up. Those are very two different things, and sometimes they are confused, where people who are strict with themselves, people who are very disciplined, people who do not allow things to slide when it comes to their behavior, can sometimes look at that and place it in the beating themselves up, and that's not. And then some people who want to have that discipline, want to be strict on themselves, want to, get their life in line and not allow themselves to make excuses, will then beat themselves up thinking that they are just being strict, and they're not. Beating yourself up looks more so like, and I will put this disclaimer in here, that it looks different for different people. So this is my perspective of what beating yourself up looks like. It may translate differently. You may have different habits. So I would suggest that you check in with yourself, especially throughout this video, after this video, and while you are reflecting. But beating yourself up can look like you discouraging yourself. Why can't I ever get this right? I need to get this right the first time. Why can't I? Blah, 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 blah. Talking down to yourself. Talking down to yourself is not being strict. Talking down to yourself is not encouraging yourself to do better. Talking down to yourself is only hurting you. Because something to put into perspective is, if you are a coach and you imagine the things that you were saying to another kid, to another person, specifically, let's just say a kid. If you imagine yourself as being a coach and you're talking to a kid, and the things that you were saying to yourself, you were saying to that kid, would you, as a parent from the outside looking in, think, oh, that's a strict coach, he wants the best for that kid? Or would you look at it and be like, wow, I feel so bad for that kid. That kid is being treated like trash, and he probably cries when he gets home? Because there is a difference. And you could possibly be doing both, but you need to recognize when, where, and how you are doing the negative beating yourself up part. Because making mistakes, you will make mistakes. You will slip up. You will have tough times. Why? Because you are a human. And having those mistakes is not a problem. It's how you respond to those mistakes. When you make the mistakes, you want to look at it from a perspective of, I am going to make a change. I am going to make something happen for myself. I am going to make the necessary differences, changes, corrections that need to be made in order for me to avoid this mistake and for me to learn from this mistake. But if you're constantly talking down to yourself, if you're constantly sitting here saying, oh, I suck, I this, I that, and you are just treating yourself like trash, like complete crap, what is that going to tell your brain? That is going to tell your brain that when you make a mistake, it is awful. It is terrible. Then, thus, because of the fact that that's now what you have communicated to yourself, it's going to make it 10 times harder for you to learn from those mistakes. It's going to make it harder for you to move on from those mistakes. It's going to make it harder for you to grow from those mistakes. And the whole point of you going through life, you making mistakes, is that you learn. It's not that you sit here and you hate on yourself for days, weeks, months. It's about you learning, because the goal is for you to become better, not for you to hate yourself. And if you're talking to yourself like you hate yourself, then there's a problem. The energy that you have should be used to make a difference. Because if you use your energy to make a difference every time you make a mistake, instead of getting depressed, instead of going inside, instead of getting angry with yourself and being hateful with yourself, instead you will start connecting mistakes with a chance to grow. So the mistakes, instead of being linked to an automatic negative feeling and then you being scared to make mistakes and then you not making as much progress in your life because you're scared to make mistakes and you want to stay in your comfort zone where you know how to do everything and how to do everything right, and you don't want to explore anything new because you know that you're going to mess up and you're scared of messing up, instead of going into that circle, instead of going into that loop that will not serve you, that will not help you, that will not allow you to reach your potential, instead you will see these mistakes as an opportunity to grow. And it may even get to the point where you want to make mistakes. You want to try so many new things and you want to fail and fall on your face every single time because you know that you will become better from it. You'll be like, why did I trip? Why did I slip? Why did I fall? And you start to have this mindset of, instead of being scared of mistakes that are inevitable, you get excited for them because you know that something good is going to happen. Now, I can say for me, I don't get excited to make mistakes. There are people where they do. That's what I'm talking about. Those people. I'm not talking about myself. But when you start to shift your mindset, it just makes life less fearful. You get less scared. You get to go out and explore life and not hold yourself back. It's actually freeing to not beat yourself up over every single mistake, over every misstep, over everything you said wrong, you did wrong, you messed up, you didn't listen to. Instead, you become better. And guess what? That radiates. More people are going to want to be around you because guess what? Every time you offend a friend, you do not sit here and throw a pity party. Instead, you're like, you know what? Why did I say that? Where did that come from? And you learn. And so you become a better person. You become more enjoyable to be around. And you can become an inspiration to even more people. It's a win-win-win, a triple win. Along with this, along with the mindset shift, you could say, that comes with this. When you are constantly focused on everything that is going wrong. Let me give a different example, okay? This is my little jar of pens, right? This is a pen that I literally always use. So, if I have this whole jar of pens and I grab this one and I try to write down something with it and it's not working, and all I'm focusing is on how it's not working. Why isn't this working? I just got this pen and the ink is already out. It's already empty. This pen's so stupid. The people who made this thing sucks. And this is all I'm thinking about is how trash this pen is. Instead of just realizing, you know what? This pen sucks. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw it away and I'm just going to grab a new pen. Literally have this whole thing of pens. I'll just grab a new pen. Instead of having that mindset of I'm just going to grab a new pen, instead you're so stuck on the pen that's not working that you're no longer doing what you need to be doing. You had stuff to do. You were writing something down. You had plans of writing and accomplishing something. It could have been your to-do list, whatever. But you had plans of something. And because of the one inconvenience, because you're so focused on that, now all the other opportunities to solve that issue, aka grabbing a new pen, are completely out of your vision. You're completely blind to it. Why? Again, because you were focused on the one problem so much and you're not focused on the solution. If you see that there's an issue, the pen, right? And you're focused on the solution instead of the problem, you would see that there are a million more pens. You would see that there's a whole cup of pens. Try another one. If it doesn't work, throw that away. Try another one. If it doesn't work, throw that away. By the end, once you reach through this whole thing, trust, there's going to be a pen in there that's going to work. But it's just about you focusing on the possibilities of things working out and the solutions to the issue instead of just the issue alone, because you will get stuck if that's all that you're focused on is the issue alone. And something I would say is making that shift can be scary. I've been working on making that shift deeper in my life and making that shift in how I see myself and the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm going to be pursuing in my future. It's something that's not always comfortable because you may be so used to this mindset of focusing on the issue, because sometimes it's scary. It's scary to think differently. It's scary to think that things could work out. It's scary because, for me at least, I fear disappointment. And so I have to, and I'm still working on it, get over that. And for you, it could be something completely different. It could be judgment. It could be, I don't know, it could be something else, which I recommend you thinking deeply and looking into yourself to figure out why that may be and what it is so that you can better address it. But thinking differently, thinking that things could work out, and not focusing on beating yourself up, not focusing on everything that's going wrong. It is not comfy. It really isn't. But what I will say is that once you start to do it, though you may have a fear of something, it brings a lot more peace, a lot more excitement of life, and it brings a lot more joy and enthusiasm. And again, excitement to actually experience life instead of being fearful of what life may bring. That concludes my video for today. I really do hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that it helped you in some way. If it did, please consider subscribing so that you can join our community here, because the goal is that we help each other out. The goal is that we're there for each other. So please join, leave a comment down below, engage with me, engage with each other. I will be down there absolutely for sure. Please make sure to take care of yourself, watch over yourself, whatever day it is that you are watching this. Start today. Start changing your life. Start changing the way that you see yourself. Start loving yourself. Start being confident in yourself. Change your point of view on yourself today. It may sound simple. It's not always as simple as it is to say, but I know that you can do it, and I know that it's possible, and I know that your life will change. Please make sure to take care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.